Husband co-signed on vehicle for mother, purposely hid it from me, but I walked in on the conversation. So basically the title explains it all. My husband signed on a 2021 SUV, I caught him giving information to his mom over the phone. He didn't talk to me about it prior. His mother asked for a co-signer, because she needs one. The banks don't trust her enough to finance a vehicle on her own. In the 12 years that I've been with my husband, she's had multiple vehicles, a lot of them repossessed/given back. I'm at a loss. We're married, so debt incurred while being married is a mutual debt, I think. I've never owned a brand new car in my life. I've always had cash cars. This year I was able to finance a 2-year-old vehicle for my husband and I. I'm worried about how this will impact our credit, but mostly feel like I cannot trust my husband at all. His mother apparently asked him, what will I say? My husband's response was, do not worry about it. She's very manipulative and not trustworthy. He felt guilty, but he also purposely tried to hide this from me. I just happened to hear what he was saying when I walked in on the conversation. Update. He woke up this morning, said he was sorry, realized it was a mistake, called the dealership and told him he didn't authorize any salesman to run his credit. He had a long conversation with his mom, and they both decided to blame the salesman because he was being too pushy. His mom did not know the salesman was going to submit the actual credit application to move forward with financing. He is still being short, telling me my feelings in this situation do not matter. I asked, what are you sorry for then? And also, I'm apparently fucking stupid. Your husband's allegiance lies with his mother, not the family he made with you. Couples counseling immediately. This goes a lot deeper. He has purposely hidden financial obligations that could have serious repercussions for you. Your husband dismisses your feelings and concerns when you bring it up to him. This is not conducive to a happy marriage. Speak with a lawyer about what this means for you, if she defaults. In the meantime, I highly suggest you keep separate bank accounts. Do not mix your funds in with someone who is not on the same page as you. Unfortunately, you should probably pull both yours and your husband's credit reports. Voice of experience here, but if you caught him being a secret squirrel once, then I'll yeet myself if he doesn't have other things he is hiding from you. You make an excellent point, but I just can't get over the use of secretive squirrel and I'll yeet myself if. You dear sir/ma'am are brilliant and funny as hell. He made a choice. He did something that can affect your financial future and he knew you wouldn't be okay with it. That's why it was a secret. You can't trust him. You can speak to a lawyer about your financial responsibility. You have to speak to him about why he thought it was okay to violate your trust. Don't let him place the blame on his mother. He made the choices here. This is bad all around. Not only is he taking on legal responsibility for the debt, and the possibility of it wrecking his credit if she defaults on her payments, but he is also tying up available credit. That next newer car you might want or need, that loan you might need to reshingle your roof, or that financing on your next flat-screen TV might no longer be an option because he has too much of his available credit tied up in his mom's car loan. To be honest, I would not be able to stay legally tied to someone who did this behind my back. I could maybe salvage the relationship with counseling, but I really would be done trusting him with my financial stability and would need to transition to a romantic relationship with no legal ties. He lost that privilege. If it's legally binding, a document claiming sole responsibility as mentioned above would be a smart thing to get before anything else. Or exploring the suggestions given on returning the car. Please seek out a lawyer as well as maybe a financial counselor to get a solid grasp on your options. Then make a decision only thinking about yourself. He clearly isn't looking out for you and there's a chance this won't be the last time. My grandfather started with things like this and it escalated to the point that he forged my grandmother's signature to sell the family home without her knowledge. He told her they were moving a week after the sale and didn't show her the new house that he had bought with their joint money, but without her name on it, until the day they moved in. Despite losing much of her memory, she mourned the loss of her home until the day she passed. Honestly, we all did. It was heartbreaking. Not to toss a horror story out there, your situation could be entirely different. But I just want to validate that this was a big deal that could turn into a pattern without serious intervention. You're right to be this concerned. Don't let anyone minimize it. I broke up with my girlfriend a month after she said that she wants to be a guy. So let me just start this by saying that I do support LGBTQ+ and everything. We had been together for about 1 or 2 years and she said to me at the beginning of this year that she said that they wanted to be a guy. At first I played it cool saying things like I still love you the same and stuff like that. But as the month went on, I knew that I wasn't gay. I just don't like men period, even if it's a girl saying that they're a guy. I don't know if I'm a dick for thinking that, but that's just how I personally feel. And then at the beginning of this month I told them that I wasn't gay and all that. They sure didn't sound very happy about that, and then they left with the message, you know what, I'm done with this. I feel like I didn't leave properly and that I didn't ever really break up with them. Should I go apologize about everything and clear some things up, but I don't want to seem like I still like them or just be annoying. In my eyes, by telling them you're not into men, it shows you took them seriously and want to support them with their transition. If you carried on dating, it'd seem like you didn't believe in the transition because you still saw them as a woman, and not a man, if that makes sense. Trans guy here, female to male like your ex. Honestly, I don't see any problem with this. You are a straight man who likes women. He's no longer a woman, and that means that attraction is gone. You obviously show a lot of respect to him, and that alone it shows a lot in a person. If you're feeling guilty or whatever, maybe drop him a message explaining how you now feel and that you are there to support him if needed. I socially transitioned before college and went to college as a guy. Every one of my girlfriends in the past have known I am trans before getting with me. If someone said they weren't okay with that, I'd be hurt, but it wouldn't be a massive issue. People have preference, it's allowed. Let it go. There is no shame in not wanting to be with him anymore. You don't have to become gay just because you liked him when he was a her. Maybe you could have said or done things differently, maybe better, maybe worse, but it doesn't matter. He made it clear he wanted to break up too, so in the end it went like you intended to. You are attracted to femininity. That is completely valid. Your sexual alignment is just as important as their gender identify. You don't think they're a bad person, you aren't stopping them from being themselves. The best thing you could have done in order to respect his decision was break up with him. If he feels he should transition to being a man and is attracted to men, then he needs to date gay men, not a straight man who is trying really hard to be accepting. This isn't accepting, it's the refusal to move on. Just like you can't force him to feel like a girl, he can't force you to like men. Shitty ex-wife is now dying. How to be there for my adult son despite being bitter. /note to the mods of RA, Reddit simply won't let me make a new /throwaway account. When I prove I am not a robot and click verified, nothing happens. I have tried for 2 days. I hope you will leave this up. I don't give a shit about karma. I just want advice, though I doubt I'm worthy of it after my thoughts that are explained below. Too long didn't read. My ex-wife had 3 boyfriends at the close of our marriage. And she spent several hours on a couple of occasions comparing me to one of her boyfriends. Several years after the divorce, she is diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer. I am having a horrible thought that might interfere with my ability to console our adult son. How do I stop being a horrible shithead with bad, horrid thoughts so I can be there for our son, please? I'm disgusting to have this thought. I make myself sick. My ex-wife conducted affairs with 3 guys at the same time at the end of the marriage. She was a manager and fired someone. That someone took revenge and called me to tell me about one guy. She was seeing him on her lunch hour, which, after a bit of trickle truth, served to reveal there were 3 guys. She then spent a few hours, face to face and on the phone on a couple of occasions, comparing me to one of the guys she was seeing. This is in addition to her physical and emotional abuse in the marriage. I have a scar and several hospital bills to prove the physical abuse. She also treats our son like shit. She is angry that he is gay. I'm extremely bitter towards her. Now, several years after the divorce, while she is with a 4th man, She has been diagnosed with a very aggressive cancer and wants to talk to me phone. She moved several hours away. She likely has 60 or 90 days left. But I have to be there for our adult son. I have to admit to thinking it couldn't happen to a better person. It's a terrible thing to think, but the though won't leave. I hate that I am such a shithead thinking this. I am disgusted with myself and am struggling with that thought while trying to be there for our son. I'm a horrid disgusting person for this thought, but it won't leave. I'm sick about myself for this and I don't deserve his love, but I need to be there for him. I disgust myself. He deserves a better man for a dad. How do I get rid of this thought? How do I stop being so disgusting? How can I be there for my son while being such a terrible person with such a terrible thought? Should I speak with her on the phone as she requested? Should I tell her she is forgiven, assuming that's what she wants to speak about? He isn't, but I can fake it. Be there for your son. You don't owe your ex anything. Also, something someone once told me that really stuck with me. You can't help the thoughts that pop up into your head. They don't mean you actually feel that way. What matters is how you correct yourself in your own mind. That's how you really feel. So you thinking she deserves it, but then correcting yourself and feeling bad you ever dared have that thought, that's who you really are and how you feel. You don't owe her a fake forgiveness. It might not even make you feel better. But for the sake of your son, the best you can do is not to badmouth her in front of him or anyone who is still connected to her. Let him go through his pain and grief and be there for him. You are validated to your ill feelings and you might need to create a private outlet for that, but don't let that near your son while he's hurting. Hoping the best for you and your son. Thanks. Yes, my private outlet is going to have to wait. It's time to focus on him. It's okay to have negative thoughts. She treated you horribly, so forgive yourself for the way you think about her now. In every action from this point forward, make sure you are doing the right thing for your son. Keep him and his interests in mind. Focus your energy on him. You don't owe your ex-wife anything, but you are soon going to be all he has left, so show up for him. To acknowledge this hatred is a powerful step in your own healing. Rare indeed is the individual who has no hatred for one who has abused them. You're human. Your son is human. You don't need to be on good terms with his mother to be there for him. Just be a human being. Faults, strengths, weaknesses, all of the parts of you, and remember that he is your son. Let him know you love him, and he will very likely do the same. He never knew what she thought of him for being gay. She blamed me for not trying to straighten him out and listed that as one reason for her affairs. She told our son not to come around her because her current SO has no use for gays. I'm certain it's her that has the problem. It's just that, in those moments where I hug him and tell him I am there for him, knowing I had that thought, it feels scummy and disingenuous. It makes me wonder if he can tell. Your ex wants to unburden herself and get your forgiveness. I am not one of those. Forgiveness is a gift you give yourself, new agers. This woman betrayed you and your family. That means she also betrayed your son. Stop with the self-flagellation. Bitterness, anger and negative thoughts in a situation like this are normal and human, especially about someone this horrible. You can be there for your son and not be a doormat for your vile ex.